Yeah, straight front, straight back.
Yeah. Really? Thanks, buddy. Stepping up, picking up wood.
Why is the Batmobile so important? Because it's an icon. It's its own character in each movie. It's become so iconic because of all the things it's capable of doing and how it supports Batman and his cause. It's just sort of an extension of the fans' fantasies of being this character.
I said this before, out of all the superheroes, Batman is probably the most plausible. I think this warrants the car be made physically and brought into this reality and not CG. This thing can actually exist on the city street, as outrageous as it is.
When I graduated from CCS, I knew that I had to work in film just because it suited me more than car design did, because I was such a geek. I wanted to design spaceships. I wanted, I would look at these movies and between Blade Runner and Star Wars, and I wanted to design these fantastic worlds that fed me more than just car design alone.
The good thing about CCS was early on I majored in transportation design. So at the end of my sophomore year, I was offered an internship at Ford Motor Company. Coincidentally, at the same time, this is the same year that Tim Burton's Batman came out. I saw that movie 5 times. So this influenced me so much when I returned my junior year. Actually, for my junior thesis, I did a Batmobile.
So the Batmobile came about in Batman Forever. I had already worked on Batman Returns with Tim Burton and did some Batmobile work on that in the Rocket Pack Penguins and Skylines for Gotham City. So I got a call from Warner Brothers on Batman Forever, and they said, we're making a new Batman movie and we want to do a new Batmobile. So that early in my career, it was huge. It was huge.
Well, I got a call from a production designer who explained that, Zack Snyder, the director, was doing another movie. And I assumed, it was Superman sequel. But then he said Batman was in it, and then this necessitated the need for a new Batmobile. It was very intimidating at first. And I think it didn't become real until the first day I went out to lunch with the production designer, and he said, just imagine, in a few months, we'll have a real car sitting there. And it became real, and I not freaked out, but it became more of an undertaking.
There's a lot of challenges to designing something that's so familiar that so many people have so many opinions about and what it should be, on top of following up Tim Burton's Batmobile, which was designed by Anton Furst, which was a really successful vehicle for the character. I had Bob Kane's drawings to be influenced by from what he did in the comics, the original comics. I had Tim Burton's Batmobile to influence proportions. I had Joel Schumacher's vision of what he wanted to see in this vehicle, along with Barbara Ling's. All those things that fell into place when we finally arrived at the final design. But my favorite scene for the Batmobile is the very beginning of the movie, where the Batmobile rises out of the turntable in the Batcave, and it's this hero shot of it because Joel was showcasing the car, and that opened the movie.
Can I persuade you to take a sandwich with you, sir?
I'll get drive-through.
So yeah, that sends chills down your, all that work is showcased right in the first frame of the film. It was pretty cool.
We noticed that the car had to be actually freakishly larger than an average car for screen presence. It had to be functional, and we had to understand that it might be rough terrain. So an all-terrain vehicle would probably be the most practical. This Batmobile is almost like an amalgam of all of them. Now what sets it apart, even the finish, this time Zach wanted it to be silver. He wanted it to be like battle scarred.
It's funny, I never get sick of seeing my own car. But I was just taking pictures of it and just posted some on Facebook. Because I had to. Because it's the Batmobile and it's right behind us, and I did that one right there. Yeah.
That's the one thing that CG can never replace, an actual, physical sort of presence.
You can get in it and drive it. It's got a crate motor in it.
I don't think you'll ever get Batmobiled out. I thought you would, as much as I worked on it, for almost like a year straight. I thought I would get tired of it. But every time I see it, it's always a pleasure.
When we first had lunch, when Ed called me up cryptically, that was something we talked about. I was like, God, think about that. That's pretty cool. Like 2 CCS guys had their hand in the Batmobiles. Like that's not just Detroit pride, but it's CCS pride too. I mean, both of us feel it.
Who wins if you race your cars?
He'll win.
What do you got in that thing?
LS3 motor.
I win.
Yeah,
his is way bigger and heavier. Yeah, I got a big block in mine.
Yeah.
So, although, yeah, I win.
I consider the Batmobile to be almost the apex of my career thus far. I don't know what the future holds. At this point, I can probably retire. I think this takes the cake.
It's the fantasy that and the other world that you get to live in while you can lose yourself for 2 hours in a movie. And there's no other medium like it, especially when you're an artist. That's every designer's dream, to do a Batmobile. I mean, there's only 6 Batmobiles out there, and I'm part of one of them. That's pretty cool.